Yo, what's up, guys? We're on episode 78 at this point. There's going to be a small delay while we all wait to see if our YouTubes come up as muted or not, and mine didn't.
I'm safe.
So, all right. Anyway, on with the show. So, obviously, today we're going to be talking about Bounty because Bounty is currently going on. And boy, it started off with a bang, let me tell you. Fun when you can go out and hit PvE uranium targets and get bounty out of them, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Yeah. Good old exploit there.
Especially
when the icons on the the uranium target hours before.
Well, that's how we were trying to figure out how they didn't realize ahead of time this was going to be an issue because the icon was on the uranium target the day before bounty even started.
So much so that a member in my alliance posted it even on the Crow's Nest page saying they started early, and he shared a photo a day early with the target even. And so, yeah, the community was aware that there was something strange going on.
Yeah. I guess that involves like logging in and paying attention to the game and what's going on to have that knowledge, though.
Well,
you might be right there.
And I guess Chris didn't see it on the page because he's not a member of the page anymore. So, yeah, I removed him not too long ago. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't notice the targets myself, but this member, it just happens the targets are right near his base, and so he messaged me, and he's on the team speak with me, and he's like, hey, this just started early. And in fact, he hit one early the day before, I think, to see what's up.
Yes, I mean, it was ridiculous. I mean, that's why the global leaderboard currently shows like 9 million bounty points or whatever, because you could blitz those targets like incredibly cheap. It was like a 1-coin blitz and you got a fair amount of bounty out of them. So, but I mean, they've gone back and they're retroactively fixing it, which is all going to come up later in the show. But I don't see how that's going to entirely fix the problem. But we'll get more into that later on. Is everybody here doing bounty?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't started yet, but I'm about to.
Right on. And I know, Travis, you said you were doing it, right?
Yeah, I just chipping away little by little. I'm just only like 15K, I think.
How about that lag, man? Oh my gosh, I'm having incredible lag problems every time I go to hit an actual player base. It's like I can't see what's going on. My fleets are slow to respawn. I'm taking all kinds of damage that I shouldn't have to be taking.
Yeah, it's really not playable today for me. Yesterday, people were complaining yesterday, and I've had this same exact issues. So I know when they tell me to describe what's going on, I'm aware of it, and I know that they're not making it up. They can't scroll the screen and type or all that stuff. So, but I was doing fine yesterday, and then today it's just real spotty, and so much so that I'm really not gonna. I'm not throwing an hour and a half crew on and going. I hope the game holds. That's just not going to happen for me. It's just not stable enough.
Yeah, my fleets are staggering across the player base maps. It's like watching two cats fight with a strobe light on. It's just random, sporadic nonsense of like, what the fuck was that?
That's a good analogy.
That was perfect.
I probably would have done something more like trying to watch a porn through the static. when you don't pay for it, you're trying to look through the scramble, But I suppose either one's good.
And then people with I don't know, it's just randomness because people's connections are good. So I don't understand, and it is random to who it happens to because it's happened to me, and I had a great connection, And the player I'm talking to now, I was on the line with the player. He's in the middle of a campaign, and the bounty came on, and he barely could finish the campaign that he was having no problems in.
Wow.
And I'm like, holy cow! So
yeah, and it's every time for the past, I don't know how many bounties. Every time, as soon as they flip that switch to make bounty start, it like makes the lag horrible.
yes.
Yeah, it's got to be the live updating of the bases, I guess.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just hard. Just oof. I guess that's why I went with the auto fleets, and that's why I'm going to continue to go with the auto fleets if I can in PvE or situations.
Well, I was gonna say sometimes we have the option to use auto fleets in PvP too. So
Right. No, right. And that's ideal. But I just don't expect all that all the time.
all right, well, let's get these slides started. So obviously the 9.09 patch hit on Tuesday evening. And this brought in the new hull upgrades, and everybody was so excited for.
Yippee!
And, I'm gonna skip forward real quick. There's towards the end I have a slide that actually shows the cost that's involved with that. So yeah, basically to upgrade your breachers, you're looking at 500,000 of each resource. You're looking at 200,000 titanium and 200 of the upgrade kits. So yeah, there's that. And time, 11 days, you might as well call it. So thoughts?
Boom, boom.
So
Let me say this. Overall, like, some of these holes definitely should be coming out with these stats anyway. But if they're going to do an upgrade system to give us this amount of grinding to get more res and stuff, and then that time to do it, it's kind of a smack in the face in a way. Now, if it had been a day to upgrade it, I'd have been cool with it. But man, that fucking pisses me off. Sorry, it just does.
So how long was it again to upgrade? It's like 10 days. So.
Yeah, 11 days.
10 days, 23 hours, 40 minutes. So you might as well say 11 days.
And your shipyard's down that whole time?
Yes. Not only is your shipyard down that whole time, but your boat that you're upgrading is down that whole time too.
It's just insane. Insane amount of time.
And now I'm going to jump forward a little bit and looking at it. And if they hold to these same days worth of cost when we go to PvE, so you're looking at 55 days for the upgrades, and then the initial fleet itself is going to cost you probably around 80 to 90 days usually. So you're looking at like 145 days to get your fleet done and upgraded and build time. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. This shit should have been in the foundry or in the retrofit, whichever place you wanted to put it. And it shouldn't have eaten up any shipyard time, and we should still be able to use the holes while they're upgrading. I know it was a suit who has never played this game in their life that made the decision of where to put it, and it was a very bad decision, like horribly bad. Possibly, this definitely ranks among the top 5 bad decisions I've ever seen Battle Pirates make in the history of the game. That's saying something.
So in theory, let's just discuss this whole upgrade, because it could be a good thing, right? I mean, let's just say, if it wasn't in the shipyard, it could reduce, in theory, it could reduce the amount of hulls released, correct? I mean, if they were to release updates after the initial build time your huge, massive thing, like you're saying, of building that original. But after that, and say if they didn't release so often, they just released an update to change a current hull. Yeah, I would be for that if it was out of the shipyard and into the retro. I would be for those changes. So I like part of this. I'm not saying that, but I don't like any additional. The part that it adds to the build, it takes my shipyard. It makes it so it's a feature that I'm just not going to choose not to use, and I don't like to do that. I mean, I want to see things added to the game that are fun and are exciting to use, and that's just going to make it so I personally won't be using this one.
I'll be dead before I get a fleet of this happening.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and PvP, my personal opinion though, and PvP, it's still shitty. It definitely shouldn't take the shipyard time. I still agree with that, even in PvP. But I'm more likely to use it in PvP because, like, I think it would be cool to have like a concussive breacher, to maybe deal with lurkers and whatever, So, but you don't have to do like your entire fleet. You can kind of have where at PvE you kind of have to, like, once you do one, you kind of have to do them all in PvE because the whole thing is to have your fleet standardized, basically. And if they're going to start like putting in like speed bumps and whatever in PvE, well, you can't have half your fleet going 68 miles an hour and the other half going 72.
Right.
Yeah.
Depending on what the upgrades do. You know what I mean? That could just, well, it could change it in PvP also, depending on what the upgrades do. If it was a drastic speed change and things like that, it could really mess you up also in PvP.
Right. And like my other big concern too is, especially in PvE, is I don't care what they've said. They are going to design the targets around you people having their hulls upgraded. You know it. For if you have played this game for more than 3 months, you know that they're going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other part that concerns me is like the total cost too, because if you look at just that upgrade, it's bad enough as it is with all the, all the grinding to get all the titanium, etc. But if you added up like the total cost of all the components and the actual build in the first place, like it's just craziness.
No.
It's silly. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's here though, and I mean, we're gonna have to deal with it again. The only thing I can hope, and I'm not telling anybody to do this, but this is my only thing I see that can perhaps salvage this whole situation, is if like hardly anybody uses this.
Yeah.
And then they'll really say, oh, this was a bad idea, and maybe at that point put it in the Foundry or put it in the Retro Lab or something.
Yeah,
that's to me is the only thing that can salvage it at this point.
If they do that, then they're going to tag like a 50-day or 80-day or something crazy on it, and it's going to be irrelevant by the time they get it.
No,
it needs to be down to like, no matter what it is, it should be like 24 to 36 hours max to upgrade for a level 1, because it says 1 on it, so there's going to be upgrade 2. What's that going to be? 22 days. Level 3 is 33 days. I mean, come on.
Yeah. It's like giving something 1 million armor points to start off with, and then wondering why the numbers blow out. It's well, you've already blown the numbers out by starting it, and we knew that there was going to be a price and a cost, whether it was time or resources or whatever. But this is just stupid.
Well, then of course the other lovely thing is you can't use your regular generic ship build tokens to do your ship upgrades. You have to use upgrade specific tokens. So to upgrade the one ship, your first ship that you want to do, they gave us the kits to do it, and they gave us 5 out of the 11 days worth of tokens, and there's 3 days worth, I think, in the bounty. So you're still either going to have to wait or coin to get your first one done and out on the water.
Yeah, I did see a ridiculous deal the other day too when it first came out. I can't remember how much it was. I don't have it in my base at the moment, but you know, you could buy them straight away, which is obviously what they wanted. But yeah.
And you know that there was a handful of, I don't want to say fools, but there's no better word I can think of, that went out and did it right away.
Yeah.
But anyway, on the breacher, you know, you're going to get your plus 12% concussive range and plus 85% on your concussive damage. I know one of the things people were like, well, you know, are we going to get the 400% concussive reload on the breacher? No, you don't. Not for concussive. But doesn't the Havoc Gatling gun have a thing that it gets reload as long as it's doing damage anyway?
Yeah, it has a
yeah.
If it's it doesn't change target, something like that, right?
As long as it's firing, I think it gets like a plus 300%. So could you imagine if they had given it the 400% on top of that plus 300%? Oh my god. That would have been silly. The Lurker one, which is honestly, I'm a little bit more interested in the Lurker one. 50% depth charge range. Surface time goes from 15 seconds to 10 seconds. Thermal is going to go from 78 to 160. That's going to be crazy. I see the Lurker being a real force as like a actually outside your base guard after they do that upgrade, because it'll spot gluttonies way before gluttonies spot it now.
Huh.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest stat on that particular one.
It's I haven't built the Lurker, and now might just build it for that, you know, just to throw it with the fleet on the map.
In 60 days.
Yeah, never mind.
Sorry, Ross.
I'm certainly not doing that on the Lurker for sure. You know, I know people. It sounds good, and that's just too much. And I didn't even build it yet, so no. Oh gosh, no. The breachers I have, thankfully I still have a rocket, so the Lurkers aren't too much of a problem. I don't see me being able. I guess if I don't do anything else, but that's what I'll be building if they don't come out with any new hulls for a while. But I don't see that happening.
Well, I still haven't built any basilisks yet. Although from most of what I've heard, I'm not really missing anything.
I think I'm just going to call this all lost potential.
Hey, but I imagine there's a Basilisk upgrade right around the corner that's going to make the Basilisk really good and relevant.
I actually think that the Basilisk, maybe I didn't have great hopes for it in the beginning, but I thought it was kind of going to be a niche pull, and that those certain players, really, honestly, the top tier type players could find a very nice little use for it. And I believe that they have. I don't think it's a great all-around haul, no. But I didn't have that great expectations for it in the start. So
I know a lot of the even like top niche people I've seen don't have anything positive to say about it.
Well, right, other than the range, you know. And they just it's because it's got awesome range, you know.
Yeah.
That's
But I'm
it.
sure there's an upgrade right around the corner that'll make it amazing.
Yeah.
One thing I know made Ross really happy: the elite countermeasure turrets have had their build time reduced from 28 days to 14 days, so you can actually like slap on for free with a full load of base parts now. For mega hulls, all new level 5 and level 6 upgrades for mega modules, like the cannons, the Titan mortars, the concrete rockets, blah 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 blah. So you can level them all up now to make them more relevant to today's current PvP game. They had like a whole thing of them on the forums of like what each upgrade did and what it was and everything, but we opted not to do them for the slide just because it was too much blueprint information for a feature that not a whole lot of people care about, in my opinion.
I agree. Yeah, and that's kind of why I left them off. And I'm even a mega Hyperion guy myself, but I'm not that into it. You know, it's one of those things that I do when I have spare time, and that's all I really want out of it. So.
I know Dynamite in chat is saying they should have lowered all the tier 6.5s, not just the one. I think the reason they did the one specifically, though, is like, if I'm not mistaken, we've had campaigns and such for all the other ones in the past that you get like 7-day build tokens for. But like the ECM, the one that everybody wanted something like that for, was the one that they never had the tokens available in the TLC. So you always, no matter what, had to wait that 9 days or whatever.
Right.
So, and I think, and it's one that's like, the other ones I don't think are really relevant in the game anymore, honestly. And the ECM is currently, I think, would be the only one that would have relevance.
Correct. And honestly, well, we don't know what's around the corner. We don't know.
And I know you say the little guys can still use them, but is there even a place where the little guys can even get them anymore? I don't think so.
No.
So if they're not available, you probably don't really need to have the stuff available to make them cheaper to build if you can't get them in the first place. Let's see. So Bounty started yesterday at 3 p.m. It's going to go. The store originally was going to open Thursday at 3 p.m., but that's been pushed now to Friday at 3 p.m. And then, of course, it's going to end Monday, March 4th at 3 p.m. That's all Kicks times as always. They've done several minor improvements. Of course, what's become kind of standard is the tier 7 PvP refit discount for this week. You know, is 50%. Although I've heard several people saying that it's not working. I've heard several people say they were doing refits with tier 7 weapons and stuff, and that it wasn't coming up any cheaper. I personally couldn't say because I don't do any tier 7 stuff myself anymore. Everything I do currently is tier 8. But I have heard lots of people talking about that. They came out. This one, this next one just made me sad, man. It just made me sad. They have a new blitzable PvE replica base target now in Bounty 18. This custom replica target features recent PvP tech to allow you to take on the latest challenges. This was the one event that we had left that you couldn't just buy your way through it. It still took some kind of little bit of skill, a little bit of strategy to get somewhere in Bounty. But no, now they brought Blitz into PvP as well. So there you go. It's official. Yeah, like Ninja Penguin just said, it's official. Bounty is now officially a raid because you can now blitz it.
Yep.
I don't know if any of you guys want to comment on that. It really saddened me to see the one strategy event that we had left is gone.
Definitely, yeah.
It was probably just from the overwhelming, community wanting it.
Well, no, it's all leaderboard driven. You know, they want people just to buy their way through the leaderboard. That's what's driving it.
I was joking.
I think he was being sarcastic.
Okay, sorry.
I can't imagine anybody being asked, "Do you want Blitz?" No, we don't. We don't want it. But I've been guilty of it in the past, and at times because of game performance, and it's been a savior to me at times because of game performance, and so it's like a catch-22 Blitz feature to me.
Well, I'll say this, and I think I've said it before, but I'm going to say it again. I mean, the team multiple times has said at the end game they want the game to be They want the game to be challenging and engaging. And I'm sorry, but that is obviously a lie. That is not what you want. If you are giving people the option to pay not to play your game, then you don't care whether it's engaging or not. You don't care whether it's challenging or not. You just want the money.
Yep.
To me, we've got to, in all honesty, we got to get the performance. It's got to get better, or none of it matters. And none of it matters. I'm losing players left and right. I just lost a few today. A few, I can say, because this isn't the first bounty or event that their game stops working. The game that does work through the rest of the week, through the rest of the month. Their hobby doesn't work on events. Well, we all know what happens if you miss an event. Well, and these aren't really players that were on the top of the game at the first time, and they miss an event, and then they miss another event. Yeah, I don't blame them. And it's not that they're leaving. I think the game's left them. If you can't figure out performance issues in 7 years, then you got to hire people that can. Just it. You just got to hire people that can.
Did you have anything on the Blitzable thing, Travis, or you don't even want to talk about it?
Oh man, it's as an old school base hitter who, from the beginning started hitting with basically battle barges, then levees and floating fortresses and dreads and so forth. To see it come to this, it's sad. It's really sad.
Yeah, it's crazy how we actually had a day in this game where it was easily supported without the Blitz feature.
Yeah.
I would just like to say, though, to all those people who do like to Blitz and like to pay not to play the game, shoot me a message. I will give you my PayPal address. If you just like giving money away to not do something, you can give me money away. Give your money to me all day long to not do anything, and I'll be more than happy to take it.
And excel at it too.
Yes, and I will give you much better customer service than what you probably get in the current place that you're doing that same thing. But anyway, moving on. The lifetime bounty leaderboard has been removed, and the seasonal bounty has been renamed to total bounty. This should ease confusion on the leaderboards are causing. Sure, okay. A new alliance bounty leaderboard has been added, but does not include any prizes in this run. Yeah, it never should have in the first place, but I'm not going to beat that dead horse.
Check that out. So good.
Yeah, but the fact that they put an alliance leaderboard in, though, tells me that they're going to bring it back.
Mm-hmm.
Now that flat PvP bounty payouts are back, the less than 250 unsecured bounty filter on the leader on the locator has been removed. Makes total sense. Players staying in red bubbles during prize redemption period after bounty has ended has been resolved. Red bubbles now drop once bounty is concluded. What the hell's a red bubble?
When you've been hit 4 times by the same player.
Okay, gotcha. Heavy turret. I really actually like this one, and I do recall us saying something about this the first time the bounty was out. That heavy turrets cannot be purchased until you unlock a heavy transformer, ensuring that no one claimed the prize that they subsequently cannot use. I really like that they added that in. I know we had talked in Bounty 17 about how that would have been the one time I would have liked to have seen something locked, and apparently they listened and actually put that into place. So good on you, Kicks.
Well, you can imagine how many tickets they got from that of people, buying stuff that they couldn't use.
Yeah. So good deal. When it comes to PvP flat layout, I can't even talk. I'm suffering RB syndrome from Saturday.
Yeah.
PvP flat payouts There's no flat payout for below 60 to 79. You're going to get 75 bounty on top of the 50% unsecured bounty from the base. From 80 to 99, you're going to get 350 on the 50% from the base, and level 100, you're going to get 1,000 bounty on top of the 50% from the base. So there you go. I guess the less than 250 still would have came into play though in the below 60 and from 60 to 79 brackets, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, so maybe they shouldn't have taken that filter out, but okay, whatever. Replica payout. I'm not even going to go over the replica payouts because their system of figuring out what pays out what still makes no sense to me whatsoever. Level apparently has nothing to do with it, so how the hell am I supposed to know just by looking at it on the map what they consider a low level, what they consider a mid level, and what they consider a high level?
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I was wondering that too. I mean, what they actually can.
Basically, the only way you know is to click on it, click on the target, and like go to attack it, and it'll tell you what your payout's going to be in the info bar, or just click the info bar, and it'll tell you there. But as far as like looking at base level has literally nothing to do with it. So I'm not sure why they continue to say low level, mid level, and high level.
Okay.
Yeah, right. I was going to say that. Just make sure you hit the info bar and make sure you know what you're going to get when you hit it.
Yeah, because I hit a 90 earlier today that gave me like 360, and then I hit a 100 that paid me out 60. So I have no clue, whatever, you know.
Yeah, and
Penguin actually has a great idea. Why can't the locator tell you how much it's worth? Well, that's probably because they don't know how much it's probably randomized after the battle. So they can't say it's worth this much. They can give you a range, but they can't say. I mean, they can put the range there, I suppose. But I mean, I don't know. Honestly, until you get all this part figured out, let's just don't even tell us. We just look, because telling us low level, mid level, and high level doesn't break it down for us at all. It's not helpful. So then they gave a little more info on the bounty blitz target though. It was paying out 1,250 points and 38 million of each basic resource type. Minimum blitz cost is 8, max is 15, with the option being blitzable ×2 or blitz ×20. Which means for ×2 it would be 100. It would be hang on. Being a minimum blitz would be 8 gold for 2 times and 160 for 20 times. And 50% of the bounty earned from blitzing is auto secured. Well, that's kind of interesting. So that means, like, if I go and say I hit 2 targets and get I blitz twice, and so I get 2,500 bounty, 1,250 of it is automatically secured. I don't even have to hit a benchmark to secure that.
Right. Correct.
So that changed. Not only can people now buy their bounty, but that basically changes the base mechanic of half of it secured right away. They don't have to hit that big benchmark, right?
I'm not sure that it was working in that fashion. You're right, though.
Or was it always that whatever you get, half of it secured right away? I don't know.
I
think it was half secured straight away.
Okay, so that didn't change anything then. Okay, I'll shut up then. They have the leaderboard prizes for individual players. First place will get a Tempest Whirlwind badge. Actually, Ross, you read this. I'm tired of reading.
All right. Okay. For total bounty leaderboards, for number 1, it's going to get a Tempest Whirlwind badge, and also a Pinchy Lurker skin, a 1-day Lurker build token ×50, and titanium ×500,000. So that's pretty good. We'll see him out there with the skin. Number 2 and number 3 are also going to get the Pinchy Lurker skin. They're going to get the 1-day Lurker build token ×30 this time, and 250,000 titanium. 4 through 6 are going to pick up the Pinchy Lurker skin and 20 of the build tokens, 125,000 titanium this time. 7 through 15 also get the skin. 10 lurker build tokens with 63,000 titanium. So we're going to go down to 16 through 30. You're going to pick up 5 one-day lurker build tokens, 32,000 and titanium. And then followed up at the end as 31 through 50th place, you're only going to pick up the titanium at 16,000. So there it is.
Yep, there you go. And I think way down later in the slides, didn't you post a picture of the Pinchy Lurker skin, Ross?
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find it. There it is. That's what the Pinchy Lurker skin is. It's red and has eyeballs on it.
And I like it. It's
reminds me of the Pokies or the Backyard Monsters. Wasn't there a character Pinchy in Backyard Monsters?
Yeah.
Maybe. I like the red version, though.
Yeah.
So
I'm not going to go on.
No, you go.
Oh, it wasn't important. I was just going to say I'm not going to worry about the leaderboards. I'm just going to send tickets at the end crying and see what they give me.
Well, there you go. Yeah. The amount of tokens, I think, is like way over the top. You know, like 50 lurker build tokens for first blood. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Well, it shows how many you're going to need.
Well, we already know how long lurkers take to build. Lurkers have been out for a while now.
Yeah.
You know, the fool that spends this much money that gets to be number one could have probably bought 50 days worth of lurker tokens, really, right? We got to see. We got to see at the end.
Well, I mean, but here, let's talk about this for a minute now, because like the leaderboard competition now is totally thrown out of whack by the glitch that they introduced in the first 3 hours, or the first hour or whatever. Because, you know, yes, people are getting those points taken away down to 100,000, but that means those people are still going to be 100,000 ahead of what people who are playing the whole event legitimately are going to be.
No, I agree.
And under the current bounty, that's going to cost some coin to get to that 100,000, where those people got that 100,000 for free, basically. So that's going to throw a big monkey wrench in this leaderboard competition. I personally think they should just pull it and like, okay, look, you know, we screwed this up. This event is not going to be a valid symbol of who actually got first. So we're going to pull the leaderboard thing, and you'll just have to deal with it next time.
And not to mention, they said they can only track 90% of the illegitimate points, so that's 10% that could affect the leaderboard as well.
Exactly. Like I said, you know, that's like a good, you know, 100 to 200 people who got 100,000 points for their bounty for literally free, because they're reimbursing them all the gold that they spent on blitzing, because they're taking away 90% of their points, but they're still, you know, going to get 100K for free, you know, and that gives them a huge unfair advantage over the people who wanted to compete for this legitimately.
Yeah.
It's just a farce. I mean, they can't even manage this. It's like, you know, one of the major features of this whole bounty, and they can't even do it. So
yeah, I guess we're too worried about doing things like defense system and hull upgrades to have time to make sure the events work properly.
Yeah. But we'll happily take your money.
Yeah. Again, my PayPal is garyon1999@hotmail.com. Feel free to send me your money for doing absolutely nothing. RB, do you want to go over the first new content slide?
Sure, why not? So it is the Tempest Heavy Launcher. I think this one's going to be quite interesting, actually. But anyway, so it is obviously a turret because it's got power consumed, or a turret top. It's a launcher, radioactive, 35 million armor points. Obviously, you need your transformer to use. Projectile speed's 450. The accuracy's 80. It's got a good range on it, 5 to 175. So no donut hole type deal. We're back up into the millions for the damage of 200 million, 400, 4 salvo. Good reload.
Hang on, buddy. That's not 200 million. That's 2 million.
Oh, sorry, 2 million. Do you know, I was concentrating on the zeros, but my mouth didn't work. So
Right.
Anyway, it's still good. 6 million shockwave damage. The radioactive defense bypass of 100%. I'm not quite sure how that works out, and a stack duration of 45 seconds. Oh, and it's a fixed 90-degree arc too. So obviously you've got to look where you're putting it to get its maximum effect.
So it's going to take 100 stacks of this turret to get a boom off. So I don't know. It's gonna. I think to worry about the boom part, you would probably have to have 3, if not 4, of these turrets in probably to make the boom part effective.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting because it's with say you've got penetrative for your other ones, you've got your explosive, and now your radioactive. So we can only armor stuff so much. So it's I don't know. This one's going to kind of be interesting, I think.
Well, it's tough. I mean, it's going to be what 2 million divided by 4 and cut in half.
Yep.
Yeah. So divide by 4, that'll be 500,000. So and then you cut it in half for turret defense. So 250K that each flechette is going to do. Like, I don't know. We're getting right back into escalation numbers out of control again, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. Because as soon as I looked at this, it's like, in the millions straight away. And it's like, well, hang on a sec. This is exactly what we talked about making the numbers too high at the start. It's, I don't know.
Yeah, no, exactly. Even let's go above, even up above the armor point area. 30.
Yeah.
What's that about? Why?
Yeah.
Why did we do this? Why did we add armor points to the turrets? I don't get it.
Well, I mean, I understand to one aspect, and to another aspect I don't. Like, I don't understand the aspect because we know it's going to throw the bubble pad off. But to the other aspect, I like it adding armor points to my turrets because then my turrets can actually survive more than one shot.
Right, but I thought that was from upgrading them, or
a long time ago it was, not anymore.
Right.
So let's just do a little quick off the cuff math though here. Let's see. So the stack duration is 45 seconds. Reload time is 3 seconds. So that means you're gonna get like 15 shots off before the stack duration falls away. Yeah. 15 rounds off, 15 times 4 because you have 4 salvo. That's what, 60. So you get 60 per thing. So technically, you could get a supercharge off with 2 of them, I suppose. Technically, and I haven't added any like supercharges from specials and all that kind of stuff either. So
yeah, that's true.
So yeah, the boom might come in to a little bit more of an effect than what I initially thought was my off-the-cuff reaction. But then you also have to factor in evade and all that fun stuff,
Right, and the misses. Yeah. So, but it does look interesting. It's not a dud, in my opinion. It's got its use. It's not.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be good. I mean, like I said, you're talking 250K per flechette, even after all your reductions and everything. And I don't think there's any way currently to get your hull up to 250K radioactive deflection. So I think it has potential to be really good.
Yeah, I agree.
Travis, your thoughts?
It should be good because, like you're saying, with with 2, you're going to get at least a shockwave in the stack duration of your 45. But 3, you should be getting around like just roughly in my head, just 15 to 20 second shockwave. You got 3 of them, so like every 15 seconds, possibly.
I know James in the chat said he wished he could play to get these, but hey, on the bright side, all you have to do is opt in the bounty before the store opens, and you're going to get a free 10K worth of bounty. So that would be enough to actually buy this blueprint. So if you got nothing else because unplayability, you would still have enough points to get this, assuming nobody hit you and took any of your points.
If he's got a transformer.
I was going to say if he had a transformer.
If you have a transformer from the last time.
Yeah. Or you could just buy it.
Yeah. Penetrating plate 8. Go, Travis.
All right, so this is another Forsaken armor plate that ignores a flat amount of damage from each missile projectile. It can only be equipped to conquer and defender hulls only, and only once per hull. It'll give you an additional 1,000 armor points at a weight of 1,200 tons. Adds a penetrative deflection of 48,342. Again, the equipment cap is 1, and the repair duration is 15 minutes. So you can really stack this up if you really want to go penetrative heavy. You could get some pretty serious deflection numbers, which are going to be weak in other aspects.
But you can't stack it up because you can only use 1 per hull.
No, I mean, like I'm saying, if you went with, like, say, a level 3, a level 2.
Okay, I got you.
But you're seriously going to be weakening, like, you know,
everything else.
Yeah. But you can get some serious numbers with that 48,000 there. So.
What happened to penetrating plate 7?
Missed it. We missed it.
I guess they just skipped over it because maybe they wanted to keep it with the tier number or whatever. But yeah, I guess we just like, oh, 7, we're going to skip you.
And in all honesty, 7 right now, when you look at the penetrative deflection numbers, 7 would have been more in line with where we're at. When that's a big number right there. So,
well, yeah, I mean, it's a little over twice what we get on the 3s, but then you also have to take in consideration that you're only getting 1 deflection type.
Right.
So kind of sort of balances out.
I guess, but I mean, to not have a 7's kind of a big
weird.
It's
weird.
You think there'll be an FM prize coming?
Maybe, who knows? People are going to be constantly saying, they're like, where's 7? How did I miss 7? Where do I get 7 at?
Well, not only that, though, but now we know this could be, things could just now be out of order. We don't know.
Who knows? Yeah, who knows? A heavy explosive bulwark. Go, RB.
Sure. I'll just click back over. Okay, so it is a tactical installation, Forsaken Tech, and will give improvements to the explosive deflection of the building on which it's making an excellent choice for those worried about incoming mortar or rocket fire. Has a power consumed of 7,500, explosive deflection of 300,000, but you get a bonus if you put it on your dock of 5 million. Because there's an extra 0.
Bonus effect on your dock.
Which again is kind of interesting that they've targeted this for the dock, but
so
yeah, I don't know about this one.
Does that mean they're going to come out with a new rocket soon that's going to do like 5 million or whatever that number is that has a lot of zeros, that much explosive damage? So they're like, well, you can put this on your dock and your dock will be safe.
Basilisk upgrade, fuckers. Damn it. That's what it is. I'm serious. I know it. I can feel it.
No, yeah, it's rocket, in my opinion. You're right. And but the 500, that's a crazy number again. Why?
Yeah.
We just started with a crazy number. So we're going to need to refactor that. Write it down. Explosive deflection on the dock on the next quarter.
Well, and I'm wondering, like, it doesn't say anything about, like, it having a range or anything.
Yeah.
Does it only affect what it's on?
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking about when I was reading it. I'm like, well, hang on a sec. It's got no range. It's got no nothing. So
it does say right there in the description on the building to which it's equipped.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a bit of an odd one.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can think is it's they're going to come out with a new series of rockets that are going to do a whole lot of damage, and this is to keep your dock safe. That's the only thing I can come up with.
That, and I think, like I said, I think the bicycle is with the upgrades coming. It's going to have something to do with explosives, rockets or something. You know.
Yeah, but for $5 million though,
that's just so high.
Yeah.
So we're getting the.
Because I'm pretty sure the 300,000 would just, negate anything that the Basilisk was going to do.
I guess since we're jumping numbers, we're going straight to the Bunker Buster 3000.
Yeah, I guess it
is. Good one.
Well, maybe this is their new line of we're never going to have to do any more things for the game again, so we're just going to make this a ridiculous number, and now we don't have to do an update for this particular thing for like 7 years if the game lasts that long.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't know.
So there's what the Tempest Whirlwind badge looks like for the top prize.
I like it. I'm not lying. I do. I think it's one of my favorites.
And there's the Tempest Whirlwind badge from the first prize. Well, hang on. What's that one? That's the top prize claim. Okay, so this is the one if you just get the new turret, I guess it would be, right?
Yes.
And then this is the one for the leaderboard prize.
Right.
So, same thing, just different color.
And lightning.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I didn't notice the difference.
Oh, good call.
Good eye.
Good call.
You artsy people always catch that kind of stuff. Where us laymen are just like, yeah, it looks the same to me.
Well, I don't know how well that's going to, especially the blue one, is going to show up on the map. Because you're not really going to be able to see it.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, it's a sexy looking badge as a badge right there, but on your base, I think you're going to hardly be able to see it at all. You'll get the like yellow bounty symbol, and that's about it.
Why you gotta be a negative Nancy, man?
Yeah,
because I am.
Hey.
It has a slight drop shadow, so it may show up.
CM Notes is just reminding you about the Tier 7 PvP discount, which, like I said, I've heard some people say it's not always working, so keep an eye on that. We showed the skin already. Oh, and then here's things from when they were talking about what was going on with Bounty. There's an exploit in Bounty that was resolved at 4 p.m. Kicks time, which involved being able to blitz non-bounty targets to earn bounty. They spent the last few hours combing through data to understand the full extent of how many illegitimate points went out and where they went. Of course, our course of action is as follows. We can reliably track about 90% of illegitimate bounty points earned, amounting to around 55 million points total. Oh, yeah. That this 90% of illegitimate points are still being removed from the economy. What this means in practice is that everyone above 100K bounty is being reduced back down to 100K bounty. Gold spent in illegitimate targets is being returned to users from whom we are removing points. The in-game leaderboard is currently considered unreliable because it includes illegitimately earned points. The leaderboard will be fixed before bounty has concluded, but it will still not be accurate because it's still going to show those people getting theirs 100,000 points for basically free. Everyone who has opted into bounty by 3 p.m. on Thursday will receive a 5K bounty, which they have now changed to 10K bounty as an apology for the rocky start. And then they were unable to roll out the correction last night and will be doing so today. This means the following. The store open is being moved to Friday at 3 p.m. And the point correction is still scheduled to deploy and will only be removing the delta of points that we announced we will be removing. Legitimate points gained between the time of this original post, 8 p.m., and the time of the fix will not be impacted. You may continue collecting bounty as normal. I'm not sure why he likes to use words like delta. That it would just be easier to say, yeah, we're going to be removing the points that we said. Why do you have to put delta in there just to act like you're like super high tech and confuse people? Like, dude, speak fucking normal English, man. You know?
Well, Yeah.
Words like hot mess would cover it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ross, you were going to say something?
You would think somebody whose job it is to communicate with the community would be much better at communicating. You know, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think epsilon would have been a better choice of word.
What about the gamma of the point? These are the radioactive Incredible Hulk points, man. People got them, and their leaderboard position just skyrocketed. That was gamma shit, man.
Deary me.
You were about to say something, Ross.
No. In all honesty, I'm just chuckling along with it all. This surely can't be what's intended. This surely can't. Come on. I mean, I just don't get it. I don't get it. I'm just here. I'm all right. I mean, in all honesty, my mood is pretty good on the game. My attitude's pretty decent on the game. I'm not getting overwhelmed.
Well, it's easy not to get overwhelmed when you're just optioning not to participate in half of the shit that they put out.
That's what's going on. But I hope that they see that, because I think the community's. I'm not alone, and I'm not asking the community to do what I'm doing at all. I'm asking the community to do whatever they want. I play their game. I'm simply playing mine. Mine is just the fact that they're striving to make me not a PvP player. They're doing everything in their everything basically for me not to want to do PvP, and so I don't understand why. Because I know PvP generates income. I know what I used to spend on the PvP, and I just don't know why, as a company, you choose not to want that. That's my thought on it.
Yeah, it's just just crazy.
Well, I'll give you one better.
Mm-hmm.
With the difficulties of the TLCs they've been having lately, they're encouraging me not to even be a PvE player anymore.
Yeah.
Right. The tuning on the TLCs is not correct. I'll just say that it's just truly not correct for what the player base is, at the levels that the player base is at, and it's been not correct now for months, and it's to a point where players are saying, to hell with it, we just aren't going to do that anymore. Where in months, 3 months, 4 months ago, every TLC that came out, the majority of the player base was all over every one of them. And matter of fact, we were complaining if we didn't have enough time to get them done. And now, if you were asking just in the comms, who's doing the TLC? Have you done the TLC? No, because the damage is, and that's the reason why. It's not that they don't have the fleet. It's because they'll say, oh, it's 12 hours of damage. Oh, yeah, that's not fun. So I just think the tuning's been off for a little while. They need to work on that. They just need to step up their game in order to bring this game back in line, performance-wise. That's all. It's not way out. It's not so much that I'm freaking out about it, but it is so much that it's making me walk away when I shouldn't be walking away.
Well, no, it seems just like more and more that they do, it seems like more and more that their intent actually is not to save the game.
No, yeah, that was kind of my, I mean, exactly. Because it's cutting, I mean, why wouldn't you want to get out all those PvP items? Why wouldn't you almost give them away? In my opinion, give them, because the PvP items are you coin the fleet on the prep, so you coin the repairs. Those are coin things. But I tell you what, if I don't have them, I'm not coining building. I'm not coining upgrading them, not going. Forget all that. You know.
Well, to me, a lot of this just harkens back to that video that Fear and Nash did a couple months ago. You know, talking about how the game is in the sunset, and they're just kind of at the point where they're just going to be trying to squeeze as much money from people as they can. And I'll be honest, I have not seen anything to discourage that belief of that video and anything that they've done.
Mm. Yeah, they certainly haven't tried to prove them wrong or anything like that. It's just like, you know, it wasn't even a thing. So, and, you know, let's face it, did they even watch it and do they even care? So,
yeah, I do like Carl's comment about how they're calling their own screw up when it comes to bounty and exploit.
yeah.
Let's be honest, guys. It wasn't an exploit. It was something you fucked up on.
Well, here's my my theory. I think if it is in sunset, which, you know, I think what we're doing now is, and if they plan on to continue the game into HTML5, we're beta testing a new launch for a new system, new platform with these new numbers. It's not about us anymore. It's about jumping it to something else and getting whatever little bit they can out of it. I think that's what they're going to do with HTML5.
Well, but if you're jumping it to a new platform and basically making it kind of sort of like a new game, why would you want a new game to start out with the numbers so high?
Yeah.
You know, that
because it doesn't matter to a new player who's never saw it before.
Yeah, but it leaves you no room for growth.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like the quote unquote problem we've had with the 99.9% defense thing. You know, you ran out of room to grow. Well, if you're starting out with numbers and like the millions and billions and shit, you've already like cut yourself off from room to grow.
Well, this might be tinfoil hat, but aren't we all just, you know, data and statistics anyway for their programs that they did the fundraising on to sell on to other companies? How's that for negative?
No, you mean for their AI thing that they were doing?
Yeah.
Probably.
Like, I know it's negative, but I mean, part of it's almost like, you know, let's watch how much we can push them, and you know, this is what you'll be able to do in the future because players will still do it.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like what I was saying earlier. It just boggles my mind how much people will pay not to play the game.
Yeah,
that's why I said, here's my PayPal address. You can email me. You can email me hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars a month to not play the game, and I can certainly use a lot more than they can.
I tell you what, I'm going to murk you out though. I'm going to get people to pay me to pay you.
I don't care how it happens as long as I'm getting money in the end. That's all I really care about. So I don't know. What else you guys got? RB, you always got something you want to talk about.
I've kind of been a bit slack this week, actually. I've been playing other games. So I know I was like trying to finish off the TLCs and I ended up falling asleep, and then I woke up and went, I don't care. So it's a bit... Sorry, I just saw what Rick Anderson said in chat.
Right.
About damn gigolos. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, so I don't really have a lot, actually. It's a bit odd for me to be on one of these shows, but anyway, there you go.
Yeah, generally you're not usually a Thursday guy.
Yeah, because it's Friday.
Yeah, well, you're backwards and upside down and all that shit, so...
paid by NASA all the way.
There you go. Travis, you got anything?
Not that I think of right off. Just like with the whole bounty thing, I know they're giving out 10,000, but you know, when they're capping people who quote unquote exploited a implementation to the game that shouldn't have been there, and the proof that they didn't log on to the actual game and look around the world map to see this stuff. Just for me to get 10,000 and them to get 100K and their gold back, it's just another reason for me to want to go fishing.
All right.
I mean, it's things like that. You know, I mean, I'll play here and there when I'm, you know, bored, but there was times where, you know, I would, you know, come back home and make sure, you know, I done something, or I'd wake up and do the FM. I've foregone most FM prizes the past 3 weeks, except for tokens and maybe one special, just because it's just, I'm burnt out, man. Just like, I can't do the things I want to do that's fun. And thank God the bounty rolled around, because I do like hitting bases, but I've been so burnt out, I've hit one player base and maybe like 10 or 15 replica bases. So it's just like, it's not my norm. And they want to be players to be engaging. You got to give me some fun, man. You know, I can't give you money all the time, you know, unless it's fun. If it's fun, I have no problem in dropping 10, 15 bucks a week. I have no problem with that. Just give me the fun. That's all I ask for. It's a game. Give me the fun. That's it.
Yeah. This would probably be.
Wait. What is this? What is this game being fun thing that you're speaking of? I'm not familiar with this term.
Okay, you remember like when you'd see like 300 ships roll in from another sector? That was fun.
Oh, okay.
That.
But see, we're so far removed from that time and frame of the game anymore that, like, when was the last time you guys had fun on this game? Like, for me, honestly, last bounty, I actually had a lot of fun because I wasn't suffering the lag issues last bounty, and I could actually go out and hit and smash a bunch of bases. I actually had fun last bounty.
I think I agree. I think I was doing well last bounty also. And I think I, at that time, was able to hit bases and I didn't hit a single map target. So I think it was successful at that time. I'm not sure. In general, no, I don't have it. In general, I'm just here and logging in every single day, doing what I have to do to stay current, to stay valuable in the game, in hopes of improvement on the playability. I'm hoping the game team picks up their game.
Yeah, I was going to say this would have to be the biggest screw up for bounty so far, and there's been some big ones, but I reckon this is probably the biggest.
Yeah, this would probably go in the top 10 list of event screw-ups.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all about top 5 and top 10 lists today. That's what I should do. I should go back and make a historical top 10 list of game decision screw-ups and a top 10 list of event screw-ups that we've had historically.
You'd get a lot of hits on that.
I'd see.
People like their top 10 list videos, that's for sure.
Yeah. Or Damnation reacts to.
Nah, they don't want to see me react to things. I'd actually have to go on camera to react to things too, then. That's not going to happen. Okay, any last minute thoughts before we wrap this one up?
I think that silence. Yeah, I think that silence says it all.
My last minute thought would be really stop and think about this whole leaderboard prize thing that you're doing, and I would really consider pulling that part of it because you have it so screwed up at this point by letting those people keep 100,000 that they got for nothing, and they're so far out in front of people who were legitimately going to try to compete for it that I think you should just scrap the leaderboard part of it for this time.
Yeah, I was having a look at the leaderboard before, and they said that there's like 55 million illegitimate points. And if you look at the leaderboard, that's a lot of points. So I'm not quite sure how far down they're going for you to be reset back again. It's I don't know. To me, just looking at it, it's 55 million's a lot of that leaderboard, so it's going to affect a lot of people.
But 10% of 55 million is a lot of points, is what I also think.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's still 5.5 million points.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yep.
5.5 million out there that they don't know.
Yeah.
Well, and I can see it because people were getting hit. I mean, the points were disseminating in different ways than just coming from that one blitz target. You know what I mean? Once it mushroomed out. So yeah, it's just a. Whew. Thankfully, I can do it.
I'm sure C Wench or whatever her name was, after she blitzed her 9 million, she was telling other people from her lines, "Hey, drop your tag. I'll open my back door. Come hit me or whatever." Well, I guess you couldn't drop your tag during bounty though, could you?
I don't think so.
Yeah, but I mean, there's still even they wouldn't have to be in her lines, just friends or whatever, like people, who you play with that aren't in your lines. You're like, "Hey, I'll open up my back door. Come take 5 million points from me or whatever."
Yeah.
Now we can talk a little bit about that video if you want, RB. If you want to set up what was going on, and then I'll explain what they were actually seeing.
Sure. So there was a video that came up in my feed about I'm not going to name names or anything, but basically they were clicking on a base, and
I'll name names. People were accusing SDS7 of hacking.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so this particular base, the bounty was dropping from like 100k bounty that it was worth down to it was like 2.5 in the end, and they were clicking on the base like every couple of seconds, and you could just visibly watch the bounty go down. So, and they were pretty confused as to why that was happening and what was going on. So
here's the mechanics of what was actually happening. Like when these people were getting all these hundreds of thousands of bounty, it wasn't securing. You have to do something to trigger the secure. So what would happen is they'd click on the base, they'd see it, but while they were doing that, this person would either go out to the map and back in their base, or like click on the store and then exit out of the store, and that would be a trigger to bank what they had available to be banked. So that was why they would actually see it keep dropping 5k every couple seconds, because they were triggering that bank. So there was no hacking, there was no any of that kind of thing going on. They were just manually triggering the banks, which is what they would have to do to get it to actually work. So yeah, that video, don't pay any attention to it. They're not hacking. They're not doing anything out of the ordinary. They were just manually banking their bounty, making that trigger happen that has to happen for it to bank.
I also want to make,
So there you go, SDS7. I was actually defending you, saying you weren't fucking cheating, so get off my fucking nuts.
There also is an issue about the banking when you are blitzing. You actually have to sometimes, apparently you have to enter your or whatever base view or whatever view and manually bank every click each 5,000.
Yeah, that's what I was just talking about.
Well, you have to do that also when you blitz the target itself. It's not auto banking like they said in their feature. Half was automatically. That's not happening. So that I was just wanting to let everybody know.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the only problem with it is that it's, it would have been mass ticketed, so that would clog up the system for everybody else. So it's probably not a bad thing to talk about it.
But okay, I think that's a good end spot. I'll put the link here for the after show in a little bit. But as always, thanks guys for coming out and watching us. Always make sure you give us a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. And if you haven't sent your friends to the page by now, oh my God, shame on you. Shame, shame, shame. You need to do it now. And we will talk to you Saturday. We're going to talk a little bit more about the bounty fiasco and maybe have some other people's thoughts on these hull upgrades that take 11 days per hull, that you can't even use the hull while you're upgrading it, and you can't use the shipyard while you're upgrading it either. Wow. 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 That's all I have to say. Yeah, even if you're just now joining, you can always go back and watch the replay of the show, so you're fine. So anyway, here, I'll put the link for the Hangout in the thing, and we're signing off. Take it easy, guys.
Good luck, everyone.
Good night.
Have a good night.